Welcome back, friends, to another The City of Final Fantasy Opera Omnia video. Lids87 here, and today I am bringing you guys another Are They Worth It video. A series where I go over characters on upcoming banners to see if they are worth your precious tickets and or gems. Now, before I get into it though, friends, please remember to hit that like and subscribe button, and shoutouts where shoutouts are due. Database, Materia Bot, Compendium, Toneberry True, and truthfully anybody that does any form of tools or just anything to make the content creators or anyone in general truthful to make our lives easier when it comes to looking up stuff about the game. So thank you very much for all the hard work that you guys do, and any links that I do have or find will be down below in the description for your own personal use. Now on December 16th, UTC 10, we will be getting a new event, the Sneering Demon, and there will be a brand new burst in LD weapon. But keep in mind, Mog, at the bottom, it does say that there are going to be free multi-draws, so one multi-draw per banner, and there's going to be 2 banners. Those banners are going to be with Sephiroth's LD and Burst weapon debut. He will be featured on both banners, and synergy characters for this event is going to be Galuf, Jekt, Ignis, Saz, and Snow. So let's go ahead and take a look to see what Sephiroth's LD and Burst weapons are going to do for him, and along with a recap for those not familiar with his kit. Now, Sephiroth is a melee type attacking unit with gravity in his EX ability, and he does have free ability uses after using his EX ability. His LD will allow your party members to do more brave damage in the form of a debuff, and his burst effect is very unique as nobody else does something similar to his burst effect. Now, again, those already familiar with Sephiroth, there will be timestamps down below in the time frame, in the description, and in the comments. Anybody else, anybody new or not familiar with him, just stick around and I am going to recap what he does. His first skill, Fervent Blow. The sad thing about Fervent Blow is the Brave Potency. This ability is going to be hitting for 42% Brave Potency per Brave hit, and for an attacker, that is very low. So you're going to want to try to beef this up any way that you can. More Brave damage, enhance him with some kind of element while imperiling, just to really let him dish out more damage. Luckily, there is an additional plus 40% Brave damage when he is attacking a target in total with his passives while you're critting the enemy. So that's just going to help when it comes to the damage for Fervent Blow. Now, one thing to note about Fervent Blow is that if he already has any existing Genova stacks or buff on him, he is going to increase any current existing Genova stacks by 2. Now, mind you, I did say increase any current stacks, not grant him. Those not familiar, grant him, he will grant himself a buff, and increase is just he increases any current existing stacks. Octa Slash's second ability, this one is going to be hitting a little bit harder than Fervent Blow. This one hits at a 70% Brave Potency per Brave hit with an additional 40% Brave damage with his passives, and as long as he is critting the enemy. Now, this one does grant him his buff, Genova. Upon using it, he will grant himself 1 stack of Genova, but if you are attacking a target that's already broken or you break a target, this will grant him an additional stack of Genova, so up to 2 stacks of Genova upon using Octa Slash. Now, Genova, it is a stackable buff that goes all the way up to 5 stacks max. There is no expiration on Genova unless Sephiroth gets dispelled. Now, at max stacks, this is going to increase Sephiroth's attack by 50%, increases max Brave by 100%, and this will increase his speed by 300%. Sephiroth starts off slow, but once he's at max stacks, he's going to increase his speed, and he will be able to keep up with your party members, so be sure to build up his Genova stacks to max. Not only that, this will also decrease the enemy's speed by 10%. Sephiroth's additional ability, press it, he does more damage. That increase attack by 15%, max Brave by 20%. But what else can you say about this? His call action, he's going to swoop in, he's going to do Octa Slash, and then he's going to get the hell out. Now, there will be an effect that's on the field. This is going to decrease the enemy's speed by 10%. With his crystal level 80, this is going to increase the duration of the effect by 3 turns, so it's going to go up to 6 turns total. Sephiroth's EX ability, this is going to increase his own Brave 5 times based on 100% of his attack while setting the enemy's Brave to 0. On the following turn, this is going to grant Sephiroth a free ability use except the LD ability, and this will grant him 3 stacks of a buff called Reunion. Now, something to keep in mind is that with his EX plus 2 out of 3, when the quest starts, he will automatically grant himself 3 stacks of Genova and 2 stacks of Reunion. So you just need to acquire 2 more stacks of Genova to bring him up to 5 stacks. Sephiroth's Reunion buff, it is a 6-turn buff on Sephiroth. Max stacks is at 5, and this is going to increase, at max stacks, this is going to increase his max brave by 40% and give him a brave regen of 200% of his int brave. His bonus sphere is an 8-type bonus sphere. This will increase the wielder's max brave and attack by 10% if their HP is above 50% of max HP at the start of the last wave. Those of you that skipped ahead, welcome back. Time to talk about Sephiroth's LD ability Scintilla. Now this is AoE brave hits followed by AoE split attacks executed twice. This is going to be hitting at a 70% brave potency per brave hit with an additional 60% brave damage if he is attacking a single target. This will inflict cellular erosion on all the targets, and what this is going to do is this is going to give a 10% sap effect, and this will increase the brave damage that enemy takes by 30%. Now, cellular erosion, it's plain and simple. Your party members are going to do more brave damage towards that enemy that they are attacking or those inflicted with cellular erosion. This is also going to help out, or it is Sephiroth's saving grace in terms of his fervent blow with the low brave potencies, because he's going to be dishing out more damage. So all in all, not a bad LD ability. I do wish it had more uses. I do wish that it had 4 uses, but it is what it is. We have to take it for what it is. And again, it's just allowing our party members to deal out more damage. And finally, his last weapon, his new weapon, is going to be his burst weapon and the burst effect after the finished burst. For 3 turns, this is going to set all the enemies brave to 1 after each turn. Nobody else's burst effect does that, at least to date. And this is very unique because this can pair up nicely with units that depend on breaking the enemies, or if there are, at least going forward in the Lufenia era, there are enemies that receive some form of aura where they reduce the brave damage they receive to 1 and you have to break them. Use Sephiroth's burst effect, they're going to go down to 1 brave, break them, and their massive amount of brave damage reduction falls off. So units that can take full advantage of this are units like Arden, because once he breaks a target, he gets stacked of his unique buff, and he does gain access to a free turn after a break. Same thing with Lightning, who we currently have. When she breaks a target while her EX ability buff is up, she gets to act again for free. So any unit that could take full advantage of Sephiroth's burst effect, reducing the enemy's brave to 1, is going to come in very, very handy. Essentially turning Sephiroth into a pseudo delayer, because you're going to be breaking the enemies after every single turn, allowing you to delay the enemies even further. So there's a lot of options you could potentially do with this, even with specific types of units that depend on brave breaks. But outside of that, nothing in terms of increasing your party members' damage. Sephiroth's boots are going to come with an attack keystone, which is going to increase his brave damage limit by 15% up to 11,498. And this will also allow his held brave and HP damage to exceed the cap by 15%, so bringing the new total by 114,998. So what I like to say about these 7-star armors is that if you're going to be using those units a lot in your team compositions, or if they have really nice party-wide benefits, then grab that 7-star armor. But if you're not going to be using that unit often, then don't grab it for now. We are going to get plenty of high guard armors as the game progresses. Cons about Sephiroth. This is more of me myself. I'm not a fan of the burst weapon model. That's just me. I'm just going to be giving him his Masum unit. That's how Sephiroth should work. Now, he does not receive a rework upon his LD and burst debut, which actually hurts him as being a top tier attacker, but he does get something later down the line. Now, for an attacker, his fervent blow, it is at a lower brave potency. I did mention that it was at 42% brave potency per brave hit, so that is pretty low. So you're going to have to beef that up in any way, shape, or form, or his LD. So outside of his LD, he really doesn't bring anything to the table. Outside of his LD and burst, he doesn't really bring anything unique to the table, like Noctis, who has turn manipulation shenanigans, Lightning, who just stupid amounts of damage, and she can enhance and imperil her own element. So Sephiroth is literally just a pure attacker, but unfortunately he is a little outdated. Now before I talk about if Sephiroth is worth your tickets and or gems, let's quickly take a look at the Lufenia bosses. Now keep in mind that going forward you will no longer be able to tank the special counter once it expires. You are going to die, plain and simple. Everything gets dispelled, you're gonna die. Now these imps, they will be resistant to magic and holy, so keep that in mind, and there is no increased condition to the special counter. So the special counter will appear as soon as the fight starts and when the imp's HP goes underneath 50%. There is a way to temporarily stop it. Once the imp's HP drops below 80%, the special counter will be gone, and once their HP drops below 50%, it's going to come back. So it's almost like a DPS race, so to say. So don't take too long dropping their health, and don't let them get a lot of turns, because when they move it goes down by 2. Now there is a tip, is that they do have this aura that pops up. Any brave damage they receive will be reduced to 1, and once they act, it's going to follow with a heavy AoE brave plus HP attack. So their grenade, they throw a grenade and it's gonna hurt. All right, so in order for you to make that red aura go away so you can do normal brave damage, the imps have to take a turn. So stop them from acting. Use Reno's Pyramid, you put him to sleep, or use someone like Warrior of Light to reduce the amount of HP damage your party receives to tank that damage. After the imps get a turn, the red aura goes away and your damage goes back to normal. Now I would love to cover a lot more about the imp, but I'm not trying to make this video super long, so I will leave a link down below to the Toneberry's troops, to their page where they cover the Lufenia Boss. Now if you are wondering about team compositions used, here are some teams used by JP players, and they have videos on YouTube. So Danny used Lightning, Kurosame, and Reno with Amy. VL used Sephiroth, Gladio, and Kurosame with Amy. Nick U used Bosch, Lightning, and Saz with Noctis. And Jack used Warrior of Light, Lightning, and Kurosame. I got my ass handed to me during this Lufenia on the JP side, so I cannot wait for some payback on Global. Alright friends, now we're at that part of the video. Are they worth it? Is Sephiroth worth your precious tickets and or gems? I guess I should be changing the title to how worthy are they, because that's the direction that it seems that I'm going to be heading with these videos. Now thank you for your wonderful feedback from the last video. It did seem like a lot of viewers truly enjoyed the new system that I am introducing with my video, so I greatly appreciate it. I did adjust the different levels to the worthiness meter because there was a skippable, but to be fair, like a lot of viewers were saying, like, to be fair, like a lot of units are skippable if you can replace them with other units. So that did remove that, so now we just have skip, somewhat worthy, and pity. And this is going to be the lid's worthy meter. All right, that's literally all it's going to be. It is my worthy meter, and with a slight description beneath each category to help you guys better understand each category. All right friends, so remember, keep in mind that both of these banners are going to have 1 free multi-draw, so there's going to be 2 free multi-draws total. Now how worth it is Sephiroth? How worthy is he of your gems? Pity the living shit out of his LDN burst. All right, come on, he's gonna be in Smash Brothers. That's how awesome Sephiroth truly is. All right, he best villain ever. Fight me. All right, now that's me being a Sephiroth Final Fantasy VII fanboy. I'm gonna put my biasness, is that even a word? I'm gonna put that aside. I'm gonna put aside my Sephiroth love and tell you guys what he's actually worth to you guys, and he is somewhat worthy of your resources. Now my OG Opera Omniers, you guys remember back in the good old days when Sephiroth, Eiko, and Saz, when that was a team, that was the team back in the day. That was the meta team to use for hard content during the EX era. Yup, that long ago. But him not receiving a rework does hurt his position as a top tier attacker. His kit it's a little outdated at this point. You guys saw that fervent blow with the brave potency. It's going to be hitting at 42% brave potency per brave hit, so you're really going to be relying on Octaslash to help you break the targets, and Octaslash doesn't have a lot of uses. It has 5 uses. Of course, you can prolong that by using Octaslash after using Sephiroth's EX ability, but still, the fact that it doesn't hit as hard, you kind of have to help Sephiroth deal out the damage. So if you want to use Sephiroth in your comps, just be sure to bring units who can do that, either by increasing his brave damage or that give them some form of elemental boost and elemental peril to the enemies. That's not saying that Sephiroth is bad, but they're just in the current state of the game, there's just units who do it better. His LD is his saving grace, that it allows the enemy to receive more brave damage by 30%, so allowing Sephiroth to dish out more brave damage. Now, my only issue with cellular erosion is the fact that it is a debuff, and you guys have seen, or you guys are familiar, or even going forward, that there are bosses that can cleanse themselves of any form of debuffs on them. So if they can do that, then there goes the damage, hurting Sephiroth's damaging capabilities. But I guess there are pros and cons to either it being a special effect on Sephiroth or a debuff on the target, because if Sephiroth's like Lightning, who does have something similar, if they can act really fast, they're going to burn through said effect. So being a debuff on the target, you can delay them to further prolong or to take full advantage of the additional damage towards said target. Now, his burst effect, it is very unique in the fact that nobody else does something like that, at least with their burst effect. But at the same time, it doesn't increase your party members' damage, kind of like Lightning's does. But I will say a friend support Sephiroth is going to be very strong, because friend supports Sephiroth come in, use Scintilla, his LD ability, give the enemy that additional 30% brave damage up, use his burst effect, and then just do lightning things right afterwards. Lightning's LD ability, Lightning's burst effect, just to further increase the damage that the enemy takes. Lightning having the capabilities to act back to back to take full advantage of Sephiroth's burst effect, the enemy's brave being reduced to 1, and her just dishing out a lot of ridiculous damage. So a friend support Sephiroth is going to be very strong in that form. Now, it's no secret, or if you're not familiar with the JP side, that Sephiroth later down the line does receive a rework and he becomes viable. He becomes really good, but I am judging him right now compared to later. But if like Sephiroth received that rework when his LD and burst debuted, he would have been at least worthy, because he becomes viable. His abilities now become AoE with massive brave gains, like before the attacks, even during the attacks, like after HP attacks, and he has several HP attacks even with Octaslash. So if you want to pick him up here as a future investment, that wouldn't hurt, but it also depends if you missed out on Warrior of Light and Paladin Cecil, because Sephiroth will be on the same banner as those units with rework and extensions. So if you missed out on any of those units, just keep in mind that Sephiroth will make a comeback later down the line, so you could potentially wait for Sephiroth for a later date when he is a lot more powerful. So today he is somewhat worthy only because there are units that can do it better. He is still usable, but if you have units like Noctis or Lightning, you're gonna be just fine, because Noctis with his turn manipulation shenanigans, his utility for your party members, and Lightning just dishing out massive amounts of damage. Now, one bad thing about Lightning is that she is locked behind her Thunder element, so Sephiroth and Noctis have the advantage there in the fact that they can be enhanced with any types of damage. But if you had to pick between Noctis and Sephiroth, I would say Noctis again, just because of those turn manipulation shenanigans that he can do for your party members. Lids, but I picked up Sephiroth's LD weapon for free, or I did decide to chase. Which is the best burst banner to chase Sephiroth's burst weapon on? Let me tell you that information in this next portion. So Sephiroth's burst is featured across 4 different banners. So his LD and burst debut, Chiron's Lost Chapter, and a new character called Rude from Final Fantasy VII. Now, if you are going to be chasing after Sephiroth's burst weapon, if you did receive his LD early, then the Rude banner is the banner to chase Sephiroth's burst weapon on. Rude is a very strong unit, highly recommended unit to add onto your team compositions. So Rude, what he's going to be bringing to the table, massive party HP healing, massive brave party healing. He increases his own brave damage whenever he's hitting critical damage. He will increase the party stats, and he can also reduce the brave damage taken by your party members. I will further go into detail once it's time to cover Rude, but I will say that this is the best burst banner to chase Sephiroth's burst weapon on. that is it for this video, friends. I want to thank you guys for watching my Are They Worth It covering Sephiroth. Be sure to let me know down below in the comments your overall thoughts about Sephiroth, your overall thoughts about Sephiroth and Smash Brothers. Me personally, if you guys have been following me for a while or have seen my Twitch live streams, you guys know that Sephiroth, he is my favorite villain. So yeah, I'm gonna go for his LD and burst weapon for his debut. I'm gonna chase after his LD with gems, and then there will be a pole battle featuring Rez, Jinli, 40, and myself on the Rude banner. So stay tuned for that. I'll let you guys know when that goes live on YouTube or after we do that. But if I don't pick up Sephiroth's burst weapon there, depending on how hard or how many gems I used on the LD debut banner, I may come back to that banner to pity his burst if I have to, but I'm hoping I pick it up along the line for free. All right, friends, so that is my plans. I'm getting Sephiroth's gear. I'm getting his LD. I'm getting his burst. I'm gonna pair him up with some units that can boost up his damage, and I'm going to do my best to use him on Lufenia content. All right, friends, so again, your own personal take on Sephiroth, your own plans about Sephiroth down below in the comments, and until next time, friends, good luck and have a good one. Seriously though, Sephiroth being in Smash Bros. Oh my gosh, I need to go buy it right now.